Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Thursday, everybody. Hope your day and your week are going well so far. We've got a new day, which of course means a new NBA player prop video to share with you guys. But first, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, drop a comment down below, all of that good stuff. We are on the road to 100,000 subscribers, and when you hit that subscribe button, we get there just a little bit sooner. We are more than 67% of the way there. We've got a small NBA slate for tonight, but that's not bad, not a problem. We've got 3 straight props followed by a 4-leg parlay for today's video. Apologies, guys. I know this is my first video I've done since Saturday. I have been sick since Sunday. I know I have the worst immune system. If you guys have been watching my channel, this is probably the third time I've gotten sick since October. My immune system is shit. My immune system is like Trae Young playing defense. It just stops nothing. My immune system is literally, it's Trae Young. It's Trae Young. It's Damian Lillard. It's all these guys who just can't play defense. That's my immune system. I've tried to record the past couple days. Hasn't worked. Unfortunately, when you have to make videos that are like 20 minutes long and you have to talk for 20 minutes straight, unfortunately, when you're sick, it's a very difficult thing to do. So apologies for that. I know I haven't had any videos. MLB, I'm still not doing until tomorrow. MLB, small slate tonight anyways. I decided just to do one video. There's no way I can do 2. So I decided if I'm going to do one video, I'll do NBA. So like I said, 3 props, straight section, and then we also have a 4-leg parlay for tonight's slate. Let's not waste any more time, guys. Let's dive right in to today's video. We'll go ahead and switch over to the Outlier screen now, guys. You know what Outlier is. They are the best sports betting tool on the market. There is a special link in the description below. You get a 7-day free trial to check it out for yourself. You got nothing to lose. You try it for 7 days. You don't like it, you go ahead and you do something and you figure something else out. But I'm telling you guys, it consolidates everything. It puts all the information into one unified place. It really is fantastic, especially with the playoffs coming up. There's gonna be a lot. I know you guys are gonna be betting props all MLB, NBA postseason plus MLB season, all that kind of stuff. It's a really great tool to have in your back pocket to help you not just with props but straight bets, over unders, totals, spreads, money lines, all that good stuff. So one more time, guys, link in the description below. 7-day free trial to check it out for yourself. Thank you to Outlier for sponsoring today's video. All right, so here we go. First prop of our 3-prop straight bet section. Again, the purpose of this segment of the show is these props, you go ahead and you can either throw them in a parlay if you want, but you can also bet them straight up without putting anything else on them. Our first prop is Cam Whitmore of the Houston Rockets over 12.5 points plus assists in the Rockets-Jazz game. We're getting this for minus 125 on DraftKings. It's also available on Underdog, BetMGM, and Caesars. Guys, this is the last week of the NBA regular season, so we're kind of in a weird spot where, especially now, like now we're in the closer to the second latter half of the week. Most teams only have like 2 or 3 games left in the season before the playoffs. Unfortunately, most of the playoffs are basically locked in, so a lot of teams don't have anything to play for. So we're in a weird spot where we have to be cautious because a lot of teams, they're resting their guys, especially teams that are going to the playoffs. They're trying to rest their starters. Some teams who are eliminated, they don't really have anything to play for, so they're not playing their guys. There's a couple different scenarios. I mean, the Utah Jazz, for example, you look at the injury report for tonight. Now, the Jazz have been basically tanking for a while. But you look at Utah, no Clarkson, no Collins, no Chris Dunn, no Walker Kessler, no Lauri Markkanen, and no Colin Sexton. So the Jazz are missing a lot of key pieces. Now, some of you would probably be saying, well, why not bet the Jazz side of things? And you could. I'd rather bet the Rockets side of things, and I think Cam Whitmore is a pretty good place to start. Apologies, I know my camera kind of paused there while I was trying to change screens. But you see here, Cam Whitmore, he has actually cashed this pretty consistently. Again, minus 125 odds on DraftKings. 7 of his last 10 games, he has cashes over. He's averaging 13.2 points plus assists per game over his last 10 games. You look at his last 20 games, a 65% hit rate. 13 of his last 20 games, he's cashed the over, averaging 13.55 points plus assists per game. On the season so far, he's only played 44 games in his rookie year with Houston. He's cashed it in 22 out of 44 games, a 50% hit rate on his rookie year. He's averaging 12.48 points plus assists per game. He hasn't played a ton, but when he's played, he's been pretty solid. And look at the head-to-head data here. He's faced off with the Utah Jazz once back on January 20th when the Jazz were actually still trying. He had 17 points and 1 assist in that game. And look, the reason why I like this spot here is that Houston, they're already eliminated. They have nothing to play for here. You got to imagine they're going to want to get some of these younger guys some reps in. A guy like Cam Whitmore, who hasn't played a ton this year, this is a great spot to just give him some minutes, to let him go out there and play. You look at the year so far, he's only averaged about 18 minutes per game on the season, so he hasn't really gotten a ton of minutes. Even we narrow this down to the last 10 games, you see he's averaging a little bit more, about 20 minutes per game. He had a little bit of an outlier the last game versus Orlando. He only played about 6 minutes. But for the most part, you see here, he's about 20, 23 minutes a game for Cam Whitmore. So I think he's going to play at least, you got to imagine at least 20 minutes in this game, whether it's a blowout or whatever. You got to imagine they want to give him some reps here. Just going to put a little filter to see what the minutes look like for Cam Whitmore when he plays. So we're going to go ahead and put this for a minimum of 20 minutes. And you see here, but now this is obviously between 20 and 33 minutes. You see here a 90% hit rate, 18 out of 20 games. He's cashed the over. When he's played between 18 and 30 minutes, is obviously a varying range there. Let's go ahead and narrow this down a little bit more to get him a little more of an accurate picture. Let's say 25. So this is where he plays between 20 at least 20 minutes, but no more than 25 minutes. You see here a 93% hit rate, 13 out of 14 games this year. He's cashed the over, averaging 16.57 points plus assists per game. So when he's played at least 20 minutes, and we're talking in that 20 to 25 minute range, you see he's been cashing it pretty consistently. And really the big thing with Cam Whitmore is the playing time. You see here he's cashed in 9 straight games when he's played in that 20 to 25 minute range for Houston. So I'm imagining he's going to get a lot of minutes tonight in a game like this versus a Jazz team that obviously are missing a lot of pieces. Overall, the defensive matchup, they're one of the worst teams in the league. That's not going to get better with all their key players being out. So I really do like the spot here for Cam Whitmore. And my camera, for some reason, is not pausing today. Today would be the day that my computer is just not going to cooperate with me. Here we go. Second prop of our straight prop segment here. We're going Pelicans-Kings, 10 p.m. tip-off. CJ McCollum of the New Orleans Pelicans, over 28.5 points plus assists. The season data, not great. I understand all that. 32% hit rate on the year. The head-to-head stuff is not fantastic. Although the last time he played Sacramento back on January 7th. Come on, computer. Jesus Christ. 30 points and 4 assists. So he did cash the last time they played. But the important thing is the more recent data here. He's cashed this number in 8 of his last 10 games, averaging 32.3 points plus assists per game. And even if you go to his last 20, although not as great, 45%, you see here over the last few games, really got an uptick there in the cover rate. The key thing here, obviously, is that Brandon Ingram is out. So we're going to go ahead and put a filter and show what the numbers look like this year when Brandon Ingram doesn't play. And you'll see here in the current season, CJ McCollum has played 15 games this year without Brandon Ingram. He's cashed it in 11 out of 15 games, a 73% hit rate. He's averaging 30.4 points plus assists per game when Ingram does not play. So that's kind of what we're looking at here, right? The data shows that when Ingram's been out, he's cashed in 4 straight games without Ingram. When Ingram is out, McCollum steps up and plays very well, which is why the line is obviously elevated. If Ingram was playing, this line would not be obviously this high. You see here, 8 of the last 10 games without Ingram, he has cashed the over, averaging 32.3 points plus assists per game. Sacramento versus shooting guards, see on the year, they are bottom 4 defensively, giving up 29 points per game to opposing shooting guards. They are top half of the league in assists allowed. They're a pretty good defensive team in terms of assists allowed, but overall, I do like the spot here for McCollum. We are getting this for minus 125 on DraftKings, but it's available on virtually every sports book here. And look, the Pelicans still have something to play for, which is a key thing. The Pelicans currently are the 6th seed in the Western Conference, and they have a half-game lead over, I believe, is it Sacramento or is it the Suns? They have a half-game lead over the Suns for the 6th seed in the Western Conference here. And look, I think New Orleans is going to want to hold on to that 6th seed spot. Obviously, to avoid the play-in tournament, it's always a good thing. You don't want to have to risk that and play extra games to try to get in, especially with Ingram being out. If they lock in the 6th seed, they'll have to play probably OKC, maybe Minnesota. Right now, it looks like OKC. The Thunder are a fantastic first-round matchup for the Pelicans here. I think the Thunder would absolutely struggle with their size. And with that being said there, I think the Pelicans want to try to hold on to that 6th seed. A win tonight definitely helps them do that. It would put them a game up on Phoenix. So a lot to play for here. And obviously Sacramento, they're only, I believe, is it a game and a half back? Let me see. No, 2 games. They are 2 games back of the Pelicans for the 6th seed. Now, obviously, a win here for the Kings would help them. I don't know. I think the Kings with 3 games left are still probably a 2-game deficit. A win here would help. I don't think Sacramento will leapfrog them. But, hey, listen, the Kings win today. 2 games left, the only game back, you never know. So, really big game with some pretty big implications for New Orleans. So, I think with that being said, McCollum's going to give it his all. I think they're going to play him a lot of minutes here. The Kings obviously need a win. They're trying to win too. So, 2 teams that are playing for something. And so, I do think this game will be pretty intense. A really good game overall, honestly. And so, I like the spot here for McCollum. All right, guys, the third and final prop in our straight prop segment. We're going to Warriors-Blazers, 10 p.m. tip-off. We're going DeAndre Ayton over 23.5 points. We're getting this for minus 125 on DraftKings, although it's available practically everywhere. And again, look, the Blazers are eliminated. They have nothing to play for here. But DeAndre Ayton in this little stretch of games here, the last 20 games really, now that Portland's has basically been out of it, he's been stepping up. He's averaging 22.3 points per game over the last 20 games for Portland. He's still had some stinkers here and there, but you see overall, he's been playing pretty well of late. Over his last 10 games, averaging 23 points per game. Over his last 5 games, he's averaging 26 points per game. Overall, the data you see, he's been scoring a lot more. This line's actually a little bit elevated because of the fact that he has been scoring. Golden State on the season, they are bottom half of the NBA in points allowed to opposing centers, giving up 19 points per game. The Warriors, I said it all year long, they struggle with size down low. This is also a game where with Golden State, how do I put this? They have something to play for, but they really don't at the same time. They are already locked in. They're going to be in the play-in tournament. There's no getting out of that. The only thing they're playing for now is seeding within the play-in tournament. Right now they have the 10 seed, but they're a half game back of the Lakers. So, obviously they can kind of rise and fall a little bit there. Obviously, if they stay where they are now, they're going to have to win 2 games to get in the playoffs, versus if they go up a little bit, they can try to get into that 8 or 7 spot. Not as difficult. I mean, they're not going to catch the 7th spot probably. So, like I said, there's still something, I guess, technically to play for here, but it's all kind of based off of who are you going to play. Right, because if you have, right now they have to play Sacramento, which I don't know, I think it's not a horrible matchup for them. Obviously, they go up, they might have to play Phoenix, so they're only playing for seeding within that play-in tournament, but they're not going to go any higher or lower. So the Warriors may, who knows? I mean, look at the injury report for tonight. You see Draymond and Clay are both game-time decisions here, but for Portland, no Brogdon, no Grant, no Sharp, no Simmons, no Thibault, no Williams. Let's go ahead and take a look, just to show the data here. When all these guys are out, what that does for DeAndre Ayton. So we're going to go Brogdon. We're going to go Grant. We're not going to put everybody, but we're going to put, most of these guys. No Sharp, no Simons, no Thibault, and no, I guess, you don't have to throw Robert Williams in there. But you see here, his last 5 games, that's what he's been doing in the last 5 games, all those guys being out. You see a 60% hit rate, 3 of his last 5 games. His last 10 games with all of those guys, actually been pretty low, but some of these games, you're going back to last year with Phoenix. That's how little data there is for this. We're going. That's what I thought. This is back with the Suns. But looking at 2023, he's played 5 games without these guys, a 60% hit rate, and you see, even the games he misses, he's still scoring against tough defensive teams. So I like the spot for Ayton here against a Warriors team that, they're kind of going for it, but they're also probably going to rest some guys. Who knows? For the Portland Trailblazers, they've got nothing to lose here, nothing to gain. But Ayton in these kind of spots, you just got to imagine he's going to kind of stat pad a little bit. So I like the spot here for Ayton over 23.5 points. All right, guys, so now here is our parlay segment of today's video. Again, I have a 4-leg parlay to close out the video. We'll kind of go through quickly because 3 out of the 4 legs, we're putting McCollum, Ayton, and Whitmore in the parlay, just alternate lines here. So that will save us some time. We'll save my voice a little bit of time here. We do have 1 leg that I didn't talk about earlier. But here we go. First leg of our 4-leg parlay. Just stick with Ayton because we just talked about him here in that Warriors-Blazers game. We're going to take his alternate line, 19.5 points. Now, this is on DraftKings minus 260 here. And you see the data, overall this season in 2023. Now, that filter's still there, right? We have that filter on with all those guys being out. A 100 a 100% hit rate this season when all those pieces are out. So you see here the last 5 games, he hasn't had any of those guys. He scored at least 20 points in all 5 games with all those players being out. And it makes sense. Who does Portland have with all those pieces out? Ayton's one of the only healthy bodies along with Scoot Henderson. He has to play. He's going to play a lot of minutes. He's going to take a lot of shots. Mix into that with the fact that the Warriors defensively, again, down low, not great with bigs. I think 20 points for DeAndre Ayton is more than doable. Again, minus 260. I know the lines are high, but we're putting it in a parlay, so it's okay. If we're not betting this straight up, I wouldn't recommend betting it straight up, obviously. The value is not there. But in a parlay, it's not a bad little option to throw in. All right, guys, second leg of our 4-leg parlay, going back to the Pelicans-Kings game, going back to CJ McCollum. This time we're going to take his alternate line over 24.5 points plus assists. Originally, I think we had it at the 28.5 line. Yeah, there's straight line 28.5. We're shaving 4 points and assists off. Again, the high alternate line, taking it from minus 255 odds. But in taking that alternate line, you see what the data shows here. 9 of his last 10 games, he's cashed this over of his alternate line. And we'll go ahead and put that same filter we had earlier on. Showing the data without Brandon Ingram just to show. And you see here, honestly, not far off from what we already had with the straight prop, right? The straight prop, he had cashed it in 11 out of 15 games. This one, it goes up slightly, 12 out of 15. He's averaging 30.4 points plus assists per game. It does give us 1 extra hit, and you see those 2 misses there, 2 of the 3 misses, really, really close. It's just a matter of playing it safe. You could obviously put the straight prop in there. There's no in between. It goes from 28.5 to 24.5. There's not a lot of variance in there. But again, it's a matter of, do you want to play it risky? I mean, if you throw him in just his straight prop, you could do that. It's only 4-point and / assist difference. But again, we're playing a little safer here and giving ourselves a better chance of hitting. And again, the head-to-head data, the last time he played Sacramento, he had 24 points and 4 assists, so he did cash. So originally with the straight prop data, he didn't actually hit this line the last time they played. But when you lower it to an alternate line, he actually has a 100% hit rate versus Sacramento this season. All right, guys, third leg of our 4-leg parlay. Again, we're going back to Rockets Jazz, back to Cam Whitmore. Now, originally we had him points plus assists. Now we're going to take him at over 10.5 points. We're getting this for -190 on DraftKings. You see here, 8 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the over. His last 20 games, a 75% hit rate. And on the year now, you remember before it was a 50% hit rate. Well, now on this prop with this alternate lines, a 68% hit rate, 30 out of 44 games this year, he has cashed this over. And if we go back again and do exactly what we did before, just put that minutes thing on there, right? So we're going to go ahead and put him up to 20 minutes in the range. So we'll just show you from 20. So this is 20 minutes to 33. So a minimum of 20 minutes played and a maximum of 33 minutes played. 90% hit rate, 18 out of 20 games. And again, if we narrow that down, let's just say he plays between 20 and 25 minutes, which is pretty realistic. 93% hit rate, 13 out of 14 games he's cashed the over. Only one time versus the Pacers back in February, he only had 9 points. So again, I expect he's going to play a ton of minutes here. Taking the alternate line, he needs 11 points. Their straight prop line was 12.5 points plus assists. You could also, again, like the McCollum prop, you could throw that in. The data still supports it. We're just playing a little safer here and taking him over 10.5 points, -190 odds. All right, guys, in the fourth and final leg of today's parlay, this is a different prop from what I've shown you guys before. We're going Knicks Celtics, Isaiah Hartenstein, over 17.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. Excuse me. Again, getting on DraftKings, -220 odds. You see here, he has cashed in 8 of his last 10 games for the Knicks, averaging 21.7 points plus rebounds plus assists per game. You look at his last 20 games, 65% hit rate. 13 of his last 20 games cashed the over, averaging 20.6 points plus rebounds plus assists per game. The Celtics have been pretty good defensively overall in the season versus centers, although you see here they are middle of the road defensively in terms of points allowed. Look, why I like this prop, the Celtics, although defensively the numbers show they're pretty solid versus bigs, their defense versus centers isn't fantastic. It's not like it's the best thing in some sliced bread or sliced cheese, however the saying goes. I think the Celtics are going to fold. I think they're going to fold up shop here, right? The Celtics have nothing to play for. They've clinched the 1 seed. They've clinched the best record in the NBA. It's the final games of the regular season. There's really nothing for the Celtics here to go with. I mean, I just don't think they have been playing pretty hard overall for the most part. And you look at the spread. The Knicks are 2.5-point favorites here for a reason. I think the Celtics, look at all the game time decisions. Jaylen Brown, Drew Holiday, Al Horford, Kristaps, Jason Tatum. At least, you got to imagine at least 2 or 3 of those guys are going to sit tonight. I would be shocked if all those guys play. And if they do play, it should be limited minutes. I did go to the game on Friday. They did play most of these guys, although come fourth quarter, they sat on the entire fourth quarter. If a lot of these, especially Porzingis and Al Horford, those guys in particular, I just can't see the Celtics giving them too much playing time. And look, if Hartenstein has to go up against Luke Cornett and Xavier Tillman and these guys that the Celtics have on their bench, I like his odds of cashing this line. Again, he's been covering it more consistently lately. Look at his minutes per game. He's averaging 26 minutes per game over the last 10 games. And again, I'll do the same thing I did for the last prop here. But put a filter on the show when he plays a minimum of 20 minutes, but a maximum of 30. So he plays in that range of 20 to 30 minutes in the game. A 65% hit rate, 20 out of 31 games. He's cashed the over. Look at his last 10 that he's played. Again, 9 of his last 10. He's averaging 24.8 points plus rebounds plus assists. His last 20 is 70% hit rate. I'm going to imagine he's going to play at least 20 minutes a game, at least 20 minutes tonight versus the Celtics. The Knicks do have, again, you got to find teams that have something to play for. The Knicks do have something to play for. They're mostly playing for seeding. They've already clinched the playoffs. They right now have the 3 seed. They'd play Indiana round 1. I think that's kind of where they want to be, to be honest with you. So trying to win and hold on to that 3 seed, because if you don't... What you don't want if you're the Knicks is to lose and you go down to the 4 seed and now all of a sudden you got to play Orlando in round 1 or even the Cavs. I just think that you'd much rather play Indiana than playing Orlando and Cleveland. I know Indiana is a tough team, but defensively they're kind of a mess. I just feel like the Knicks, they have a better chance of beating the Pacers than they do of beating. Like, Orlando's a tough play in the first round. I know their clutch stats are not good. I know they're very inexperienced. If I was the Knicks, I'd rather play the Pacers. And right now, that's what we're looking at. So, they are playing to win here. They're trying to lock up the 3 seed in the East, home court advantage, at least in that first round playoff series. So they're actually going to be trying here. I don't know if the Celtics, if they're going to try much here. They have nothing to play for. And as a Celtics fan, I would prefer they just bench everybody and just punt on this game. I think Hartenstein's going to play at least 20 minutes. Again, clearing the filter. Excuse me. His last 10 games, you see he's averaging 26 minutes a game. So, if he plays his last 4 games, he's played at least 28 minutes. Let's go ahead and just show you guys when he plays. I'll just one more time real quick show you guys when he plays more. Let's go ahead and put 20. We'll put 28 minutes, but we'll put a maximum of 30 because he's not really playing a lot more than that. So we'll say when he plays between 28 and 30 minutes a game, a 75% hit rate this year. 9 out of 12 games he's cashed the over. And in the head-to-head data, he cashed versus the Celtics. The one time that he played this many minutes, back on December 8th, he had 16 rebounds, 5 points, and 4 assists. He did cash this the last time he played the Celtics when he played 28. He played 29 minutes in that game. So, again, it's all about playing time for him. I think as long as he plays at least that 20, 25, 30-minute range, which he's been playing lately, I think we're in a pretty good spot here for Hartenstein. I thought this video would be shorter, honestly, only 7 total props, but somehow it's one of my longer videos. I've been rambling a little bit today. But there's a lot of great information on these props I wanted to share with you guys. So here's our 4-leg parlay. You parlay them all together. You get a parlay of plus 328 odds. Let's go ahead and see other sports books. On Caesars, 2 out of 4 are available. But again, DraftKings is king here. Plus 328 odds for a 4-leg parlay, not bad. Again, McCollum over 24.5 points plus assists. Hartenstein over 17.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. Cam Whitmore over 10.5 points. And DeAndre Ayton over 19.5 points. Again, plus 328 odds there for Ayton. I will make sure to put the link, the outlier link here. I'll go ahead and show you guys. I'll make sure to copy the link and post it in the description below so you guys can go ahead and just go right on. And when you click that link, it'll take you right to this. You just click add to bet slip, and you don't have to do anything else. It just will bet for you. You don't have to go searching. You don't have to go looking through the sports book. It's very easy. I'm trying to make it as easy as I can for you guys. So, guys, that is it for me today. Thank you very much for being patient. Again, I know I haven't been in since Saturday. I'm doing my best here with the sore throat and being sick. Again, I will be back tomorrow with our Freaky Friday 5-leg parlay. We cashed last Friday. It's already been a week since then. Our Earthquake parlay, we cashed that motherfucker last week. Let's go ahead and do another one tomorrow. So, guys, thank you very much as always for watching. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, drop a comment down below, all that good stuff. And make sure to comment hashtag ride of the day for a chance for your pick to be featured in the pinned comment. Guys, until tomorrow, I hope we're all winners. Have a good one.